wondered how to introduce the world to your children in a hands-on and fun way? Well, in this video I'm going to explain exactly how you can do that from home all by yourself, so stick around. But hey, if we're only meeting for the first time, my name is Rebecca Raitt from Empowered Avenue, empowering eclectic education one avenue at a time. I'm an educator, facilitator and mother of 2 little girls, and on this channel I do videos about eclectic educational styles, including Montessori inspired activities and language learning tips for non-native speakers. If that's something that's interesting to you, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so that you get all the alerts for future videos. So the thing I love about Montessori Geography in particular is the way we approach the world and learning about the world and where our place is in the world. So traditionally children will learn about themselves, then their families, then their neighborhoods, then their city, then their country, and then the world. So they learn a very inside out approach, and it's very self-centered, I feel. So in Montessori we learn from the outside in. So we learn about the Earth and its place in the solar system, how big a planet it is, how small it is in comparison to other planets, so we get a real understanding of size. Then we come in, so we learn about the Earth, and the Earth is a sphere, it's round, and it is broken up into land and water. So that's the first thing that children learn around 4 years old-ish in a 3 to 6 year old classroom. So they use something called a sandpaper globe. Now I don't have a sandpaper globe, so I'm going to use my continent globe as an example. Sandpaper globe will not have these colors. It'll just be sandpaper over the continents to show the landforms, and then the blue part is smooth, and that's showing the water. This gives a tactile experience for the children to feel that this is land and this is water and they are different. Once they understand that, then you can introduce the continent globe, which has the different colors of the continents, and these are Montessori colors, so they're consistent across all Montessori classrooms and materials. The colors represent each continent as a whole, so we're not really focusing on all the little islands and things. So on the continent globe, for example, Australia is always brown and Asia is always yellow. I've made this based off the patterns from Imagine Our Life. She has patterns for the world map, which you can see behind me, and also for a quiet book like this. We made this one. I'll show you this one later. But I adapted it to fit my globe, and then I used felt pieces, so it's still a tactile experience, and I just glued them on, and I painted, this is just a styrofoam bowl. So it served its purpose. So once we've learnt about the continents, I also did a little lesson on the hemispheres right at the start of the lesson with Play-Doh, where you cut the Play-Doh in half, you show that that's the Earth cut in half, the continents are on top, and then you put them down, and that's how you get your map. Then we can move on to map work. You can see the map that I've made in the background. That is the base template. On top of each continent on there, these little felt pieces go. So this one will go on Europe, and this one will go on Australia, and they're all color coded, and they're large size pieces, Africa, and I have all the continents, the flattened Antarctica, but there's also continent Antarctica somewhere in there. And that's the next thing we do, and it's quite a large map. After that, then we learn the Montessori continent song. There are a few versions of this song, and then we've also added another continent song on top, and I thought it doesn't hurt to learn a few, makes it fun, and varies it up a little bit, and each one adds something different. So the one that I first chose was just the names of the continent. I used the map, but because it's over there and I'm here, I'll use the globe. And you'll have to excuse my singing voice, but I'll show you the continent song. So this one is probably more popular in America, but I didn't get a solid answer on which one they do in the Australian schools. So I just chose the one that I like the best. This is our continent song. Tell me the continents, tell me the continents, tell me if you can. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa. Don't forget Australia, and don't forget Antarctica. Tell me the continents, tell me the continents, tell me if you can. Now I did change the order a little bit when we came to Asia, Europe and Africa, just because of the accent difference with how Americans pronounce Australia. I thought it matched a little bit better. It just made more sense that way to me. So then we put together, or we will be putting together, this quiet book, which is, the patterns are also from Imagine Our Life. So this is the continents of the world. I've adapted it a little bit for what I wanted to do with the kids. So the first thing I've changed is I've added a whole page world map. So just like the map on the wall, the kids in the first lesson got to do this world map. I've done an outline, and then they get their felt pieces, which are all in the little flap at the back here. And I apologize for my children going nuts. But we've got little felt pieces, and they just go on like that, and they stick on there like that. And there's one for each continent. So that's what I changed from this book. Everything else I basically kept the same. We've got one continent per page. I've halved the size of the book as well, just to cut costs. So each page has a continent, and then on each continent we stick on North America, and I scaled these down and made my own pattern from those patterns. So there's North America, and then on each one, which I haven't actually got to North America yet, but I just printed out photos of animals and landmarks. So these are the Australian ones, and they will be matched to each continent, and the children will just stick them on like that. And each continent has their own little pack of cards. So for Asia, you know, I put the Great Wall of China, some animals, different places, just a few. And then as they go and work through this book, they'll put those on the right pages, so they will go there. And then there's a little pocket at the back for all the things to go back into. The patterns for this book and the world map are available free online on Imagine Our Life. I'll link up down below. But if you want to make these to sell yourself, then you need to purchase a commercial license. So because I was doing this as part of a class and we were making it as we go, I just used the free patterns. So that basically sums up how I approached our first lesson of our Around the World course and the continents of the world as a whole. So the next lesson, we started getting into each continent, and we did a continent box on each. So this one is my Asia continent box, all full of different things, which I'm going to show in future videos as we go along. So if that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you get all the notifications of future videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and tag a friend or share it with someone you think will also enjoy this. That's it from me today. My name is Rebecca Raitt from Empowered Avenue, empowering eclectic education one avenue at a time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.